And it's an MVP. Oh.
In episode 9, act 3, I hit immortal for the first time. But what's so special about that? Thousands of players achieve this every single act, and when you put it that way, it doesn't seem special at all. What makes my journey unique is that 3.5 years ago, I played my first 5 ranked games of Valorant, and I placed in Iron 2. Yeah, I climbed from Iron all the way up to Immortal, and I'm probably one of the only players to have ever done so. If you don't already know me, I'm Corey, a 17-year-old content creator, and if you care to stick around after this video, you'll be able to watch as I climb in ranked, begin to compete in tournaments, and someday create a career for myself in the game that I love. In this video, I'm going to share my journey in hitting Immortal, covering the main difficulties in ranking up and how to overcome all of them. This is almost going to be like a letter to my past self, and I hope it can help someone out there. In my climb to Immortal, I faced 3 main problems that made it more difficult to rank up in Valorant. Let's get right into it. Difficulty number 1, mechanics. While I never really had bad mechanics compared to the average player in my rank, not having insane mechanics was still something that held me back. Valorant, at the end of the day, is an FPS game, and that means that in order to excel, you're going to need to win your gunfights. As soon as I realized this, I started honing and perfecting my fundamentals until I could confidently say that I had the mechanics of an Immortal player. So how did I do this? The truth is that it took me over 500 hours of aim trainers and hundreds of deathmatches to become the player that I am today. It might sound obvious, but there are no shortcuts to getting good mechanics. To get into specifics, I aim trained 2 hours a day until my Voltaic completion rank matched my Valorant rank. This took over 4 months of deliberate practice, and another 250 hours before that. For the average player, this is not worth it, but this video is about sharing exactly what I did to hit Immortal. And this psychotic amount of aim training put my raw aim at a level above everyone I faced in ranked. Despite this advantage, I wasn't yet mechanically dominant. My movement and crosshair placement had a lot of flaws, and I was still losing gunfights. My answer to this problem was deathmatches, but the way I played them is different from just about everyone else I've talked to. You see, most people who play deathmatches as a practice method place them all in a chunk at the end of their aim training sessions or rank sessions. I wanted my mechanics in ranked to feel nearly identical to my mechanics in deathmatches, and I decided that the best way to achieve this was to interlace them into my rank sessions. I would warm up with deathmatches, and then every 2 ranked games I played would be interrupted with 3 deathmatches. This ensured that I could constantly work on problems I identified while playing ranked. By creating this sandwich of 3 deathmatches, 2 ranked games, 3 deathmatches, 2 ranked games, and 3 deathmatches again whenever I played, my brain began to blur the line between deathmatches and ranked. Whereas before, I got flustered easily in ranked and my aim wasn't fluid, a few days after I implemented this, my mind became calm during gunfights and I could rely more on my mechanics. On top of all of this, when I trained my mechanics, I was very self-critical. I took notes when I was aim training on what I needed to do better and watched back VODs of my deathmatches to notice inconsistencies in my crosshair placement. I watched highlights of Radiant players and identified how they moved and aimed in clutch situations. If you're serious about overcoming this difficulty, your action step is simple. Download Aimlabs or Kovacs, play deathmatch, put in the hours, and you'll see the results in 2 months. When you feel like your mechanics are a step above everybody else in your lobbies, you can tone down training to just 10% of your playtime. But if you're starting, invest a good portion, like 25 or even 30% of your total playtime into training your mechanics. Just as a shameless plug, if you do have any questions about mechanics or want to know more about how I train them, I stream myself aim training and playing deathmatches live on Twitch all the time. Feel free to follow my Twitch and join the Discord for notifications when I stream. All the links are in the description down below. Thanks. I'm gonna keep it real with you, mindset is the most important difficulty to overcome. I know it doesn't sound like it, but without a proper mindset, I struggle to develop my mechanics and other aspects of the game. Furthermore, a bad mindset affected how much I enjoyed the game and even my fulfillment outside of it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain the mindset that got me to Immortal, so I want you to lock the fuck in and listen. If you have the goal of ranking up, your actions and thoughts should align with winning and improving. Whatever your goal is, you should be able to easily trace your actions and thoughts back to it. If an action or thought isn't able to be traced back to your goal, eliminate it. Common sense, right? So then why are you tilting at your teammates and swearing at them? Why are you queuing the surrender vote? Why are you complaining about Smurfs? Even having certain feelings such as anger or stress will not increase your chances of winning nor help with improvement and should therefore be eliminated to the best of your ability. This should extend well beyond each game as well. Align how you train, play deathmatches, and watch your favorite streamers with your goal of ranking up. Eliminate all the slop that doesn't align with your goals while keeping everything that gives you value. This does include certain emotions. Whether you choose to accept that you have the power to control your emotions or not, there are people out there who can, and this is not an innate characteristic. At least in video games, anger is a choice, stress is a choice, and by choosing to feel these emotions, you're hindering your ability to grow. Flame me all you want, but the truth is that I eliminated anger and stress from my gameplay, and if you want to keep it in your gameplay because you think that it isn't in your control, that's fine. Suit yourself. Another thing you should always consider is that in the hundreds of games it will take you to hit Immortal, you are going to be the only constant. Focus on improving yourself, the consistent variable that you can control, instead of blaming your teammates and enemies who you have no control over. By developing this mindset, I started converting games that felt unwinnable, actually having fun playing Valorant, and training more effectively than ever. Other than developing this mindset, the one action step you can take, and the one I took that helped me with my mental, is playing 2 deathmatches after every loss or game with poor performance. In these deathmatches, I didn't focus entirely on my mechanics, and I'd lower the game volume. Instead, I'd use these deathmatches as a time of reflection, where I'd literally talk to myself about how the previous games played out and what I could have done differently to play better. These deathmatches also reset my mental and made it impossible for tilt to affect me for more than one game. This didn't just help me with my mental, but it actually helped me with my game sense as well. The third difficulty that I faced is a lack of knowledge and having a fixed perspective of the game. Did you notice how I didn't say a lack of game sense? Game sense is made up of 2 parts, knowledge and application. And since I was playing the game with the right mindset and with intense focus, I was applying my knowledge as best as I could. However, I had many misconceptions about how the game should be played, and without expanding and refining my understanding of the game, my gameplay would always end up flawed, no matter how well I could apply what I knew. One day, I had a VOD reviewing session with a Radiant player, and it completely opened my eyes to the way players in the higher ranks understand the game. This was the moment that I realized my perspective of the game limited me. No matter how much I VOD reviewed on my own or reflected upon each death, I wouldn't have been able to fix the flaws that the Radiant player pointed out. I was straight up playing checkers while he was playing 4-dimensional chess. When he looked at my gameplay, he saw the game so differently, it was mind-boggling. He pointed out timings I could have taken, information I didn't gather from enemy utility usage or enemy setups, good gunfights to initiate, opportunities where I could have taken space, and so much more that I was just blind to. The point I'm trying to make is that you're going to plateau if you're not getting other perspectives when you're VOD reviewing. The way improvement at game sense works is a cycle. You expand your knowledge and then you refine your application of said knowledge. But it is impossible to apply what you don't know. Trust me, there are concepts that Immortal players and even some Radiant players aren't aware of. And they'll never be able to apply it without someone else watching their gameplay and telling them about it. That is why your action step for this section is to bring and talk about one of your VODs with an Immortal or Radiant player. Now, if you don't have access to one, just try the highest ranked player that you know. Ask them to point out everything that they do differently in a round, everything that you did that they think is wrong, and their thought processes behind it all. Become a sponge and absorb all of the knowledge that they give you. Learn to think like them. You won't need to do this very often, but if you're ever feeling stuck like I was, take this action step. And if you're playing with the right mindset, you'll slowly expand your knowledge and automate your application of it. If you've made it this far, I hope I've provided you with a ton of value. If you do want to support me in my future endeavors, I started a Ko-Fi where you can help me keep making videos for just $10 a month. I'm trying to use it to build a community where you can find high quality people to improve in and out of the game with, and there is a Ko-Fi exclusive Discord server. If you do need someone to review a VOD with for the last action step of this video, I'm going to be doing monthly VOD reviews for every supporter. There's obviously other benefits to joining too, such as early access to videos, being able to train with me on stream, and so much more that you can take a look at on the Ko-Fi page itself. If you do want to support me for free, you can follow my Twitch, join the Discord for notifications, and subscribe to my second channel that'll be based around Twitch content. Links all in the description down below. There's some videos on the screen right now, bro. You can click them. Thank you so much for watching.